Evelyn to Philip, January 31st, 1944. Darling mine, believe it or not, I actually got into town today and had my corset adjusted. It fits and feels much better, and I'm going to try to wear it daily. I feel swell today. Adele slept straight through the night, and although I hit the hay after 11, I awoke feeling rested. First time in many weeks. I cleaned the place, and about 10:30, Betty asked me if I could go into town with her and Sarah, as Dewar's was having a sale. Ruth has off till Friday and took care of Adele. I'm going to work for Miss Hahn on Thursday. Yours of the 23rd of January V-mail was in the mail this morning, along with a V-mail from Jack S. He has been assigned as warehouseman and has given up the idea of transferring to the Air Corps. It's an easy job and has responsibilities, which I think may earn him stripes. I also had a letter from my brother telling me of your plans to meet. Lots of luck, and I hope you make it this time. About the sale, I came darn close to buying a winter white, $10 reduced from $15, but Sarah told me to wait till they knocked them down still further. Being in no particular need for a dress momentarily, I decided to wait. If they reduce them still further, I'll be able to get 2 or even maybe 3. The Reisners and Meadoways paid us a visit a few days ago. I meant to tell you, but always forgot. They all asked to be remembered to you. I also ran into Helen Bellis with the baby last week while on my way to Broad Street. She looked swell and proudly displayed a wide circlet of diamonds presented to her by Izzy. Page 2 for their anniversary and her having the baby. I couldn't see the babe as he was bundled to the hilt. I've almost completed Mickey's fascinator and intend to get wool for several sweaters this week. Betty is going to work for Sears Roebuck, 35 hours a week, 7 hours a day, 9 to 5, at 60 cents per. My grandma is back on her feet, and I can hardly wait till she gets out again. Sweet, I always have so much to say, but so little time to write as I wish. When I have time to sit and write, I can say what is in my mind in just the right way. At times such as this, I have to dash off a letter and say whatever comes to my head, or you wouldn't get a letter. Please bear with me, my darling, if my letters are not always up to par, as yours usually are, as it is customary for me to get off 3 or 4 letters in less than 2 hours. I've got an unbearable urge to make love to you at the moment. Never mind, though, 'cause I'll make up for every moment I felt thusly. Pucker up, sweet, 'cause you're about to be soundly kissed. Smack. I adore you, Phil. Your Ev. P.S. I have 2 sets of stationery that Ruth got at the 5 and 10 with U.S. Army printed at the top. Can you use them? Philip to Evelyn, January 31st, 1944. My darling, tonight I am CQ, and having prepared the bunk with no less than 5 blankets, I am all set to write to my heart's content. Your 17th of January V-mail arrived this afternoon, and it aggravated me because you had utilized every bit of space within the borders. It made me wonder why you didn't deign to use the regular letter form. I'm sure there is much more you could and would have said if space permitted. Please, Chippy, use the V-mail form only when you have nothing at all to say. You make me feel cheated when you squeeze all your writing in. At that, the last line was only half there, and I had a hell of a time deciphering it. That's the line asking me what I want for my birthday. A question like that shouldn't come as an afterthought, to be jammed into the very margin and almost obliterated. Thanks for asking, sweet, but there is really nothing, page 2, I need or want over here except those few things that I mentioned a while back, namely hankies, underwear, candy, and that picture I keep harping about. Now that I think of it, I would like an overseas cap with ordnance braid size 6 7/8. If you are ever in town and in a position to do so, you might buy one for me. However, it must meet all three requisites. The price should be between $1.50 and $2. I don't suppose it's too early to start talking about birthdays and wedding anniversaries, etc., considering that they are all in March, only 6 or 7 weeks away. I don't suppose I'll be able to send you anything that you may want, situated as I am, but I certainly would like to try. So please, baby, give me some idea as to what you would consider a swell birthday gift and a fitting anniversary gift. At least, if I am unsuccessful in obtaining the things over here, I can send you the money to buy them over there. Today was payday, and tomorrow I'll send off $70 or $80. I'm not entirely sure yet if I'll be able, page 3, to spare the higher figure. Today I worked mostly on the files, and at last I am beginning to make progress. I could have had them in shape long ago, only there are always more immediate concerns popping up, and I get very little time to fuss with them. Once I do get them set up, though, my work will be greatly facilitated. 2, in their present condition, they are a constant source of annoyance, chiefly because I have all the other aspects of my work under control. It bothers me that this one problem is left unsolved week after week. But now that I'm spending every spare minute on the task, I feel better about it. This evening I had supper with Red. The big lug has caught himself a beaut of a cold, and he feels miserable as hell. To top it off, he has to pull guard duty tonight. Poor guy, I feel sorry for him. There is no coal or coke or anything here in the orderly room with which to make a fire, and it's getting colder by the minute. Naturally, so am I. Page 4. As a matter of fact, I'm seriously considering dashing over to my hut for a couple of more blankets. Right now I am so uncomfortably chilly that I find it difficult to gather my thoughts, such as they are. By the way, how has the heater been percolating this winter? Has it given you any trouble? Is the house always good and warm? Baby, when I think back and remember the ease and warmth and general congeniality of home and family, well, it's just impossible to describe the extent of my yearning to return to it all. The guy who said there's no place like home must have been a soldier. No one else is in a position to really appreciate the glory of home. Well, darling, it's very near 6 months since I last saw you, and home, but I just can't feel that it will be that long before I see you again. For me, the end is always just around the corner. That, I suppose, is because I want it to end so desperately. Call, page 5, it wishful thinking, if you will, but you can't deny that it's a good way to feel. It's certainly kept my morale high all the while, and I'm still as confident as ever that it'll be any day now. And what if I'm wrong, and that day is sometime next year? What will I have lost by feeling that way? You said it. not nearly as much as I will have gained in peace of mind. Your constant allusions to the way Pumpkin is getting around these days is a new source of unease for me. I guess I'm a worrywart, but I keep seeing her falling downstairs and picking buttons and things off the floor and putting them in her mouth, etc., etc. You do keep a constant eye on her, don't you, Ev? Sometimes I think it's a good thing I'm not at home these days. Seems to me I'd be afraid to go around the corner for fear of losing sight of her for an instant. But I'd be a regular old fuss budget. It's very still and very cold here in page 6, the orderly room now, and I'm beginning to pine for your voice to break the stillness, and for your body to drive the chill from me. And that, my sweet, will never do. I don't relish the idea of lying awake half the night in this cold, just wanting you and wanting you and wanting you. So I better sign off right now with a fond embrace and a sweet kiss and those 3 little words for your own little ear. I adore you. Now, be a good girl and snuggle up to your fill.